Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took inside the Discord, as well as the plan going into tomorrow. So this is what we looked like off of open. So if we go to the 30-minute chart, you guys know this tells us the trend in the market. So if we go to the call side, this is what we look like right off of open. We were all the way down here. And if we go to the put side, this is where we're at right off of open. So obviously we didn't get the gap down to flip us bearish, so pretty much right off of open the charts looked pretty bullish because this chart was going negative. Like I said, if this chart goes negative, we're most likely going to get a push higher, and that's exactly what happened today. But I didn't take anything really off of these charts just because Trump was supposed to be on at 10 a.m. I don't think he got on until like 10:30 or 10:45. I'm not exactly sure, but he was talking for quite a long time, or he was delayed for a bit, and he was talking. I don't know. He was talking all morning pretty much until once we ramped up. If we go to the 0-day chart, you could kind of tell when he started talking. That was like in this area down in here where we got this massive ramp, and there was nothing to take today. I mean, there was really no trades. If we look here off of open, where were we again? We were right. Let's see. Down in here at 9:30, we ended up getting this little cross off of open, and Trump's talking right at 10. I mean, honestly, if you wanted, you could have bought this little dip down in here and got a little rip on it before he got on the mic. But I mean, it is a little high risk. But you would have made some points on that, and then from there, there's really no trades. I mean, if you played this 10 SMA reclaim, this is a little sketchy because if you look here, you could see that the 50 was still down off of this little reclaim. Yeah, so that 50 was pretty much sloped down still slightly. I didn't love the look of this, and then we also had Trump on, so I mean, I'm not taking any trades while he's on. And then we were going negative on this chart, and personally, again, Trump's talking, not taking anything, and that's pretty much what happened throughout the whole day. Like, I did not take anything. I was not interested in any trades because of Trump, and he obviously ended up ripping us. In hindsight, yeah, this looks like a nice cross, but I mean, Trump was talking, and you don't know what was going to happen. So really today there was no trades in my opinion that that were really worth taking. So didn't call anything out on the Discord. I know Colton tried this long right here, and obviously that didn't end up working out, but he tried the little crot or the reclaim right here, just didn't end up playing out. He stopped out for a little loss. I think it was half size anyway, so nothing too big. But yeah, you just gotta know when not to trade. When there's Trump, when there's the president talking, I mean, there's really no point to trade. You're gonna get weird candles, weird wicks in who knows what direction. And again, this dip down here to the 50, you're not buying this. Why? Because we know there's no trend in the market. How do we know that? From the 30-minute chart. If we go here on the 570s, maybe, yeah, these SMAs were crossed, but the 50's still down. So what does that mean? That means we're still neutral. And what do you do in a neutral market? You do not buy the 50 SMA dip. So with that being said, you on the 0-day chart, you're not buying this 50 dip. You wait for the reclaim of the 10, which never happened. We come down on the 50, and it broke right below, no bounce whatsoever. So and obviously the rest of the day, there's nothing else to take. I mean, this chart was just ugly, chopping around. Really haven't called out many trades in the Discord. Haven't traded too much in the last like 2 weeks just because of the action. That's one of the good things with the system, is it does pretty much let us know when to stay out. I mean, there has been no crazy moves in the market recently when it comes to big trend, and we know when we will get trend is when those 30-minute charts cross, and we get that bullish or bearish market depending on if the puts are crossed, then we're bearish. If the calls are crossed, we're bullish, and we know what side to focus on, and we haven't really had any of that recently. So we kind of know when to have our foot on the gas and really milk out the market. It just hasn't, we haven't had any trend. And when we're neutral, we do get that choppier action, which has been the case for the last 1 to 2 weeks. So size less in these types of markets. Obviously the market did start to pick up, which was nice. We got a big move here, big move down. I mean, hopefully it stays like this and we could eventually get some trend and eventually move nicely. So price action wasn't terrible, just based off like the movement. Like, we got big moves up, big moves down, so hopefully we could continue this action into next week and tomorrow. Maybe we could catch a good cross. That's what I'm looking for. We got Trump out the way, FOMC. The only last factor is CPI next week is on, I think, Tuesday. So once CPI is out the way, hopefully we could get some good trend going in the market. Whatever way we move, we'll be able to catch it, just how the system is built. But going into tomorrow, again, this is what we look like off the 30-minute chart. So this chart right here, obviously, we're not going to be getting because we are going to be picking new contracts since tomorrow is, what is it, tomorrow, Friday. So This is what the Friday ones look like. Obviously, this chart is crossed. The 50 is still down, so I really wouldn't consider this bullish yet. I really got to see what we look like tomorrow off the open. When we close right at the 50 and the 50 is still down, I can't really say, I'm never going to jump to the conclusion that we're like 100% going to rip. But if we do gap up tomorrow, this 50 will probably curl and we'll get a nice move out of it. And hopefully the market flips bullish and makes the market easy to trade. If the market's bullish, we're only focused on the longs. What does that mean? We're just looking for that 0-day cross on the call side on the 0DT chart, which means the 10 SMA crossing the 50. And the 50's got to be flat or curling up. If it's slanted down, it's not a valid cross. Just like how it is on the 30-minute chart, this 50 is sloped down, which means this is not a valid cross at the moment. If the 50 does curl up, then that means we are officially bullish, and that's what we're going to be looking for tomorrow. If this chart obviously, doesn't cross, 50 doesn't curl, and we gap down tomorrow, this is probably going to cross negative. There's still a big gap between the 10 and the 50, so too early to tell of what's going to happen. But like I said, if this chart goes negative, we're probably going to see some downside and most likely get a put cross from there. So that's the plan going into tomorrow. What we did today didn't really do anything. I didn't take any trades off of those charts, but yeah, if you guys enjoyed, drop a like, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join Discord down below. It's where all the trades are shared. Hasn't been much going on the last 1 to 2 weeks, but I mean, I'm not going to force trades when we're just not in good condition. So it's like I'm not going to give something that is I'm not confident in. So yeah, place to be if you want to learn. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like, drop a sub. I'm out. Peace.